Everyone says you need to eat a super clean diet to lose weight, but what if that is not true? The secret to a sustainable fitness journey is definitely not cutting out all of your favorite foods. In this video, I'm going to share with you an easy step-by-step guide how you can create your own caloric deficit plan without sacrificing all the foods that you love and still lose weight. Hi, my name is Dennis and I create simple, honest fitness videos for total beginners. And if you're also on a journey to a healthier lifestyle, subscribe to the channel, leave a like to the video so we can help this message to reach more people who need it. And the first step to build your own calorie deficit plan would be to figure out your maintenance calories. You can find a lot of calculators online, but to make it easier for you, I will just link the one that I always use fully for free somewhere down in the description below. And I'm going to use my own data to give you an example now. I'm 31 years old, I'm 136 pounds in weight at the moment, and I'm only 5 feet 7 short. And I'm using the sedentary level activity in these calculators to not falsificate the amount of cardio I'm actually doing. I always calculate that manually later on. And in my example, the maintenance is approximate 1,800 calories. And if I want to lose weight now, I need to eat less than the maintenance calories. And in my recommendation, it is always good to not undercut your calories by too much. So in my example, I would go now with a caloric deficit of only like 200, 300 calories max. That will ultimately mean that I lose around half a pound of body weight every single week. And that is a very healthy and sustainable way to lose weight. And you can also increase the caloric deficit not only by just eating less, but also by just walking a lot more. If you go with walking, 10,000 steps roughly burns 300 calories. And now you would have the exact same amount of caloric deficit by just walking 10,000 steps instead of cutting out the food. And you can also make it a combination of basically just eating less and walking more so that you reach the actual amount of caloric deficit that you think that is going to be sustainable for you. And to give you an example of my caloric deficit at the moment, I'm eating 1,700 calories every single day and I'm walking 10,000 steps. That means I'm in a 400 calorie deficit and I'm progressively just losing weight by following the exact same calories every single day. And that leads us to step number 2. You need to calculate your calories in one or the other way. There's some apps that you can use on the phone which is quite easy, where you can just put the exact amount of food into those apps and they're gonna tell you the amount of protein that you're eating, the amount of calories that the food actually has. And you could potentially get one of those kitchen scales here. They're really inexpensive. I highly recommend getting one. You can basically just put everything that you're eating here, type it into your app, and that will make your life really easy, because not only will you have the exact amount of calories that you will need to eat to basically lose weight, but also you will now know how many calories you're actually eating throughout the day. And I recommend you are going to calculate your calories inside of an app for at least like 1 week or maybe 2 weeks, so that you are getting an understanding of how many calories certain foods actually have, because some foods we underestimate how many calories they have. And all of a sudden we are not in a caloric deficit anymore, but we are eating way too much above our target again. And that's why I say that step number 1, to have your numbers, is very important, because if you don't have a calorie target, you're always going to miss it. Now we don't need to guess anymore. We will weigh our food. We know exactly the amount of calories we are eating, and we can finally lose weight. And to make your calorie deficit plan as sustainable and long-term as possible, and to also give you a lot more flexibility, we're gonna implement something called the 80-20 rule, where 80% of our calories come from really good food and 20% of the calories in a day we can just eat whatever we want, basically, like cake, pizza, pasta, bagels, all of this nice stuff that actually is not allowed on a lot of other diets. But we are going to implement it here on purpose, because we want this to be sustainable and long term. We want to have fun in our diet. That is the entire purpose we are doing this. We want to have a lifestyle that's beneficial to us, where we long term can lose weight. Crash diets is definitely not what we want, and I couldn't be on a diet for longer than a month if I cannot actually enjoy some food. And here's what the 80-20 rule will look like in our example of 1,800 calories of maintenance from the beginning. If we want to lose weight, we're gonna eat now 1,500 calories, or if you are walking 10,000 steps, you are going to be able to eat 1,800 calories to still have the exact same 1,500 calories target that we want to eat to basically lose weight. And with the 80-20 rule in place, that would mean that 1,500 calories multiplied times 20%, we will be able to eat 300 calories of whatever we want in that day. And basically the rest of the 1,200 calories should come from food sources that are actually high in protein. As a rule of thumb here, you should always aim for around 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight. And as soon as you hit that protein target, the rest of the calories you can basically fill it up with whatever you like without sacrificing your muscle growth. But keep in mind, eating too much sugar, even if you are hitting your protein target, will mean that you are more hungry, and then it will get harder to actually stay inside of your calorie deficit plan. So just find a balance for yourself. This simple framework is what makes a fitness journey finally sustainable, and it can do the same for you. And if you want more simple, honest fitness advice just like this one, make sure to subscribe, and I see you in the next one.